So how do you adjust timing on this? The simplest way is you can do it here on your timeline. So let me shrink this, because we're probably going to shrink the keyframes closer together to make this a lot faster, because right now all of my poses are set on 10 frames apart. Everything is pretty even. Yeah, as you can see here, when I hit play, everything is even. Nothing is quick, nothing is slow. Everything is just like he's just jumping over a ball at the same speed as he's anticipating, as he's squashing, as he's stretching, as he's in the air. So nothing looks realistic yet because we haven't adjusted the timing. So what you can do here is you can, select all your controllers. You want to make sure that everything is going with it. And then you can shift middle mouse, click and drag on all these keyframes. So we can adjust the timing between frame 1 and 10. So you could do it this way. So you can see we're moving all of the keyframes on him, on the ball. I'm sorry, on the lamp. So the ball is going to be separate. Okay, so don't worry about the ball yet. So you can do it that way. Let's say you wanted to adjust the timing between frame 90 and 100. So again, you can hold shift, middle mouse, click and drag, and then you can adjust the timing. You see the gap here now? You can adjust the timing between there. But there's actually oh great. There's actually a better way to adjust your timing using what's called the dope sheet. Which, if you go to Windows, animation editors, you'll see here it says dope sheet. Now it's not dope like as in weed, because I know what you guys are thinking. Jeez, it's not dope, but it is cool. Like, oh, that was dope, man. That's dope sheet. So we're gonna use a dope sheet just because it's awesome. And then we're gonna select this one. It says frame all displayed keys. So this is gonna show us all of our keyframes that we have. So if I deselect this, I'm not selecting on the lamp anymore. You won't see keys here. But if I go and I select our lamp and all its controls, now you're gonna see all these keys. So this green line here, the first one, is one of the body parts. And then this other one, it's another body part. And then this other one is like another body part of the lamp. Like maybe this part, and then this other keyframe is like another part of the lamp, and then this bottom one again. So all these green lines here and all these keys that you see here represent different parts of the body. But we're not worried about that. We're worried about this blue line up here. This is a master keyframe. So if I were to select this top keyframe, that will select everything underneath it. So you can see here I just selected this blue one, and it selected all of these over here. So that's what we want to focus on, just the master keyframe, which is like coming down here and selecting your keys here and moving them, but except we're going to be doing it up here. So what we could actually do is, I like to hide the green area because I'm not going to be looking at that. So I can adjust my keyframes up here on the blue section. So if I were to select, say, that one, everything underneath it gets selected. So that's what we want. So now what I can do here is I'm going to come in here and just start squishing everything together. And I think it's adding the keyframes on there. I'm having some offset here. I don't know what this offset keys are. I don't know why it's showing me this keyframe in between here. I don't have a keyframe here. And it's not the ball because the ball animation is over here. It's on the first controller too. So let me go ahead and go back and set a keyframe on everything again. See if I can delete these guys. I don't know what that is. I don't need it because I don't see it over here. So there, it's much cleaner. And our animation is still working fine. So let's go ahead and adjust the timing on this. So I'm gonna grab everything here and then hit my W for move, and then I'm gonna middle mouse click and drag on this. So you can see I'm moving everything except frame 1. So if I were to move this out here, you can see all of my keys are being shifted. So this is very useful. So I just grab this, move it forward, you know, grab these other ones, move them forward, or to make it easier, just hold control and click on this keyframe, and it'll just deselect that one. So again, move these closer, move this closer, and I'm just moving them closer because I know the animation needs to be a lot faster on this. So this is just like a first rough draft pass on the timing. I don't even know if this is correct, but I know that my animation was too slow. So by bringing everything together, I know it's going to make it much faster. So I'll adjust for that later. And I'm going to show you a shortcut for doing this. Instead of going one by one, you can actually hit, I believe it's R for rescale. And you get this little thing here. So you can actually rescale your keyframes. But the thing with this is, if I were to rescale this and I let it go, usually it puts your keyframes on decimal points, which is not what you want because that sort of messes everything up. So if I were to come in here and hit like the greater than, less than, you can see here this is at 130, keyframe is at 123, and this keyframe is at 140.22. This one is 157.78, and this one is at 175. So that sort of screws it up. So what you want to do here is, if you're going to use this scale, use the scale and then right click on it, and I believe it has a snap. Go to edit and then snap to keyframes. What that's going to do is going to remove the decimals and just snap it to a whole number. So now if I come back here, it says 130, 136, and 143. There's no more decimals. So if you're going to use this rescale, use it, but then right click, edit, snap. Okay? So now let's move this further down. Let's hit play and check our timing. So now we can see it's a little bit faster, but because we adjusted the timing of the lamp, now the timing for the ball is off. But let's not worry about that. That's going to be last. Okay, I'm looking at the timing here. So we can see on the hop, let's look for that little jump part. So here's the anticipation at frame 21. At frame 25, he's starting to move forward. He's starting to do this to leap forward. So between frame 21 and frame 27, which I can see that it's between here because this red line here is where I have my play head area. So if I leave it there, I can see that at frame 27, this little gap here, if I zoom in, this little gap here needs to go faster. So let me go ahead and select everything after here and then move it forward maybe by 2 frames. So now we can see that this part happens much faster. He's going forward a lot quicker. And then on the jump part, you have a lot of momentum, so you want to really push off. So this part should also be quick. So let me release this keyframe, hold control, click on that one, and move everything forward. So now rewind this, hit play. Alright, you saw that little push? You can see that this little push here is working a lot better. So now let's come up here where when he's in the air, like this area here. Again, control, click on this keyframe, and let's bring this a lot faster. So you bring him in closer, and then as he's going down, you know, he's a pretty heavy lamp, even though he's like this little baby lamp. You know, he's made out of metal and stuff, so you want him to come down pretty quick and smack the ground here. So again, control, let that keyframe go, and let's bring these closer together. So rewind this, hit play. Let's see what we have. Okay. Now this little part here, when he hits the ground, needs to be a lot faster. So again, let that one go. Bring this one closer. Now you can see there it sort of popped pretty quickly down. So maybe you can see that that was too fast. So if you always want to figure out, you know, how far apart do you set the keyframes? Well, you know, just look at your animation. That's the best advice I can give you for that. And this is like make or break an animation. You have to have an eye for it. This is why it's like an art, you know, because it's up to you. You don't just, you know, set keyframes and poses and then you say, all right, I'm done. You know, you have to adjust the timing. So the timing is up to you. So again, you know, this little part here, he hits the ground too fast. So let me separate that maybe by 2 keyframes. So he's still moving a little slow on the push now. So he's coming down here and then he's pushing off. So this little section, get rid of that one, bring it closer. Maybe a little closer. Rewind it, hit play. Okay, it's looking a little better. Let's see here. Push again. He pushed up into the air, so this should be moving a lot quicker. Then let's just go ahead and just bring this closer, just because I know I'm gonna need to make it faster. Jump. Okay, so he comes in, jumps, does a second jump. Again, just look at timing here. So it's sort of cartoony. He's coming back down here. So let's get rid of that keyframe. Bring this closer. Hit play. And when he hits here, he's really going to bounce off of it. So he's getting a lot of momentum down here. So I sort of want him to jump up, come down quickly, and then down here, he's sort of going to be like, you know, just I don't know, curling into this little ball, like he's squashing, and then boom, another large leap here. So let's look here. It's coming down. Let that one go. So let's leave some time here. You know, I'm not going to bring these too far in. So rewind this. Let's watch this. Okay. So maybe here when he's coming down, I want this to be a little bit quicker. So I'll grab all of these again. Move them 1 frame. Rewind. Hit play again. And then on the push off here, he's pushing off. This needs to be a little quicker. So get rid of these and then bring these closer. There he goes off frame, but still. So there he goes. He's jumping off and he lands. Now you can see the beginning part is starting to look a lot better. And it's not perfect, but you know, now we have some decent timing to work with. And we can call this our first pass. We can show this to the director and say, I'm working on the timing for this. Show it to your lead and ask them, what do you guys think? Is this working well? Should I speed it up here? Should I make it slower? Should I change a pose over here? So this is a good starting uh, method for you guys to start using here. Here he's coming down. We'll make this fairly quick. And then boom, he hits the ground here. So this is gonna be really, really quick. I have a lot of space in between there, so let's just bring all this closer. And then actually this last one, I'll bring them apart. And then let's make this timeline a lot shorter. So rewind, hit play, let's see what we have here. So it's starting to look a lot better than what we started with. But this fall right there, I'm not buying. It looks a little weird. So maybe he can be falling a lot faster, but keep him in the air a little bit longer. So somewhere here, I'm gonna move this away 1 frame and then move this closer, maybe 2 frames, see what that does. So rewind it a little bit, hit play. That's actually a little too fast, so let me spread that by 1. Okay, now I deselected it, so let me go back. Maybe this first little jump here when he's coming down, I want to make this just a little bit faster. So I want to keep this timing here. I don't want to mess with this. So if I were to, if I just grab this keyframe and I moved it forward, now this timing in between these two is sort of messed up. That's the reason why I grab everything behind it. So maybe here, push it forward, move this up. I rewind, hit play again. So this is how you pretty much adjust your timing for your animation. You just have to play it over and over. Move your keyframes further apart, move them closer wherever you see you need to adjust your timing. So this is how you get smooth animation. Good poses and good timing. It starts to bring your whole animation back to life. So you can see here, so the jumps are working a little bit better. Now I can obviously, stay here and adjust more timing. But the poses are working, fairly well. You can see the head, moving with the overlapping. So, he's coming down here, the head goes down. He's going back to get momentum and then forward. So maybe here, you can keep the, maybe here, keep the head down. Goes up. Head is being dragged behind. Comes forward. Here, maybe move the head up like he's coming down. A little bit more. Push this back to give it more of this whipping action. So he goes poof, poof. So let's take a look again. Now this is actually looking quite nicely. It's not perfect yet, maybe at the end. Again, like I said, you guys can keep tweaking this. This is just a quick tutorial to show you guys how I work my timing and how I add my poses. So hopefully this is very helpful to you guys. Again, you can make a play blast. That always helps. So it stops somewhere here. Make this play blast so you can get true timing, because a lot of you will hit play and say you don't have a lot of RAM on your computer, it's not gonna play in real time. It's actually gonna lag. So you want to make sure that you have a looks like it's lagging here too. So let me check my settings. Go to Play Blast settings. And there's why. Because it's rendering at full frame. So I like to do MS Cram just to give it some compression. And then just say overwrite that. So you don't want to render this at uncompressed frames because that's going to give you a large file, which means it's not going to play at real time. So when I compress this, I know it looks like lower quality, but it gives you true timing. So this is what your actual movie will look like if you were to render this, or add this into your demo reel, which is very important. So it's very important again to make a play blast. So let's check this out, see how it's working. So I'm looking when he jumps off the ball, that little push seems a little slow right there. Watch. There. So if you're jumping off of a ball, the ball is pretty squishy, so it's gonna push you up pretty quickly. So I need to speed that up there. So with some practice, you guys will get timing and how things should look. So that's all it is. Practice, practice, practice. So right here, this little takeoff is what's bugging me. So I'm gonna select. I like to leave my little playhead in between the keyframes I need to adjust, so that when I come up here, you see that little red line in between those two keyframes? That means that's where the problem is. So move these closer, maybe by 1 frame. And again, I'm gonna make another play blast. Now I don't have to, but I just want to get like the real timing of it. So let's check this out. Now I think he's coming down too quickly. There. Right there. Now it could work, but I'm not too happy with it. So this is where you have to play around with timing, see what looks good. But I'm sure you guys get the message by now. So I'm gonna go ahead and stop the tutorial here, and I'm gonna render this. Did I say it was moving too fast or too slow? Let's check this out. Now I need to adjust the timing of the ball to match the timing of this guy. So actually the ball animation is somewhere way out here. So let's grab all this, hold shift, middle mouse click, drag, and move it down. Now let me adjust the timing for this. So at frame 15, it's zeroed out. So I need to find an area where he's pretty much on top of this ball here. So let me hit this guy. So frame 57 is when he's on top of the ball. So let's open this guy up, select the ball, and move all of this to frame 57, which is right there. And then select this guy again, and at frame 62, it's when he's being squashed. So grab all this, move it at frame 52, and then at frame 66, because I'm looking at the bottom part of the lamp where the keyframes are, so I want to match those keyframes to the keyframes on the ball, right? Because they need to be working together. So at frame 66, it should have the next keyframe. So there it is. Grab the bottom, frame 69. Oh yeah, my favorite number. He needs to be there. And then, pretty much from here we can take over. Let's just go ahead and move this forward. And let's use this rescale. So hit R, and then let's just bring all this together here. And then right click, edit, snap. And let's hit play. See what we get here. And I think that looks pretty decent. You see it jiggling? Jiggling, 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 jiggling. And I think that's gonna cut it for this tutorial. Again, going over this, make sure you create another button here using the script editor. So you open your script editor, you clear the history, and then you select your controllers on your character or on whatever it is you're going to animate, right? And then you highlight your code, middle mouse, click and drag onto your shelf, and then save it as a mail. Then you can hit that button to select all your controllers, and then hit S to set a keyframe. And then move forward in time, like say frame 5 or frame 10 like I was doing, and then hit S, set another keyframe, and then move your character, right? And then that's going to record your second pose. And then move to frame, what are we on? 1, 10, 20. And then move your character, select that, hit that button up there that we created, and that'll hit a key on all your controllers. And then move forward again, frame 30, and do the same thing, 40, until you have decent poses. The poses need to tell your story. Okay? If it's not working for you, you probably need to add more poses before you go into your timing, into adjusting your timing. So it's important. If you're not sure, add more poses. That's my best recommendation. Add more poses if you're not sure, because if you have a lot of poses, at least when you go to your timing, adjusting your keyframes, you're gonna get pretty close to professional results. So I hope this was very useful. Again, subscribe to my channel. I have a Facebook now where I'm posting like behind the scenes and cool images and rigs that you'll see me use at studios. So again, keep you posted. Chat you later. Arrivederci. I'm gonna have me a chimichanga.